If you're an insurance agent and you have ever thought about hiring a virtual assistant, but you didn't know what tasks to give them, you're not alone. My name is Tyler. I own a company called ScaleOps and a brand called AgencyAid, and I have helped hundreds of insurance agencies across the US to hire virtual assistants, train them, and manage them inside of their agencies. And I get this all the time. What can a virtual assistant do? And so we've got tons of different resource guides that help there, but I just wanted to make a quick video today and outline some of the things that I recommend. After seeing hundreds of use cases, this is how I will break it down. So I've got a couple different pieces. So I break it into primary and secondary tasks. So we'll start out with primary. And so I have another video where I outline how to define where your time is going. That's really the first place I would check. So I can link that video below. You need to see where's your time inside of your agency going, your time or your CSRs or your producers, and you want to offload those things. But for the average agency, this is going to work for the purposes of this video. So for primary, the number one tasks that I would recommend for agencies to offload is handling quotes. So this is new quotes, this is renewals, but essentially when you break it down, running a quote for an agency, it's just data entry. Most states require a licensed person to be the one that gathers the information and presents it to a client. So if you have some type of standardized quote intake, you're bringing in data the same way every time. And so you can ask the right questions and make sure you have everything you need to run a quote. From there, a virtual assistant can pretty easily take this information and plug it into whatever rater you use or go straight into the carrier sites. Inside my agency, we eventually dropped our rater just because by the time we entered the information, bridged all of the data from the carriers, it was taking us just as much time because we had some carriers that weren't even going in the rater. And so possibly you can speed it up by dropping the rater or keeping it. That's up to you. You can play with the numbers there. But running quotes and shopping renewals is one task that is a major bottleneck inside most agencies. And so I highly recommend offloading it. Number two is customer service tasks. Now, this will come into stuff like ID cards. This could be billing questions. This could be COIs, mortgagee changes, various tasks like this that clients have throughout the day that don't produce dollars. So you do not want your producers getting off the phone where they could potentially sell and getting into the carrier sites to pull ID cards. A task like this is super simple. It's done the same way every single time. And if you have a virtual assistant trained on how to do this, they can handle it for you for half the cost of whatever your in-office staff is costing you. Billing questions, kind of the same thing. Somebody can go into the carrier site or even call the carrier if you have a very serious question, and you can find out everything you need to know, but you're not taking your team away from selling. And that's the whole goal. Really, with a virtual assistant, you're wanting to build leverage. So, for example, let's say you value your time at $50 an hour, but you're doing lots of quotes inside of your agency or you're pulling ID cards. I know it probably only takes you 5 minutes to go pull that ID card. Let's say if you're quoting a package, it takes you 30 minutes to go run that quote. Well, basically, for a quote, it just costs you $25 to go run that quote. Or you could hire a virtual assistant and pay less than half of that to have somebody else do it. And you're on down the road still selling, doing higher value tasks. And that allows you to create leverage. And this leverage compounds over time. So, for example, the cost of your producer's time or your CSR's time is even less than yours. But if you're removing the lower level tasks, you allow your CSRs and producers to work on higher value tasks, increasing the leverage of the money you're spending on payroll. Your dollars are going even further to provide value for your company. And so it helps you grow your agency faster. Number three, this is one I feel like a lot of people miss. So downloads and commissions. So essentially, lots of different times you're going to have data coming into your agency in the form of a download. It should be happening every day from your carriers. And so Ivans is pulling data into your AMS, but a lot of times it doesn't come in formatted the right way, or there's changes, or you actually have to approve it to come in. So that can be an issue because, again, it's you or a CSR handling this. But if you make some guide rails of here's the way that data usually comes in, if it looks like this, I want you to handle it this way. If it looks like this and you don't know, ask me. You can get 90% of that done without you getting involved. And now the data is going to be right inside of your agency. That makes your accounting so much easier and helps with commissions. I can't tell you how many agencies I talk to that have massive nightmares handling commissions. Either they don't like processing all of the commissions that come in from the carriers so that they can pay their team, or even worse, a lot of times carriers aren't paying out the proper commissions or there's some type of discrepancy. So you need to be verifying that you're getting paid properly. Just because these insurance carriers are billion-dollar companies doesn't mean that they're faultless. They have humans working there, and you are a very small piece of their company. So they are not using a microphone, magnifying glass to look over your commissions to make sure they paid you right. You need to be verifying that. So having a virtual assistant for a few dollars an hour check on these tasks and make sure that you're getting your proper commissions is probably money pretty well spent. And then again, kind of the same thing, but data to your CRM or your AMS. So again, making sure that your data is clean allows your automation to work better. And so without proper automation firing, it's humans that have to do the work. So by having better automation, you again increase the leverage of your team and continue to make yourself more profitable inside of your agency. And so your agency management system, obviously, this is the back office tasks for your agency. This is commissions. This is making sure that carriers are integrating properly with you and you're getting the right data. For your CRM, this helps you grow faster. So if you have data the right way, let's say you have your notes proper, you need to have your notes in your CRM and your AMS, and it needs to be in your AMS so that they can't be edited. This is massive for kind of CYA in the event you have an E&O claim down the road. All of these things are boxes you have to check to properly run an agency. And by offloading it to a virtual assistant, it helps you not work in the day-to-day minutia, the not as fun tasks, and it makes sure it's constantly getting done. And so next, we're going to go to secondary tasks. So the primary tasks are the ones that are the true job description. These are what you're hiring for. But a lot of times I have agencies that get frustrated because maybe they don't have that many quotes to work on that day. They may be a new agency, or they still have internal staff that handles a lot of this, or they've just decided that rate increases are not that much. They don't hit their threshold, so they're not going to reshop everybody, whatever the reason may be. So your virtual assistant is kind of just sitting there sometimes and doesn't have things to do. I fixed this by adding a set of secondary tasks. So I make an order of operations. Hey, when you first come in, I want you to work on new quotes, then customer service tasks, then renewals, and then whatever else I give you. And so that's our order of operations. So you need to have other tasks you can pull from. For a lot of agencies, I recommend SMM. On here, it means social media management. So you could very easily have somebody curating content online. They can go into ChatGPT and tell it, hey, I am managing the social media accounts for an independent insurance agency, and I need posts to put on social media. Help give me some ideas. And then your virtual assistant can take that. They can go curate pictures, write blog posts, etc., and put it on your website. That kind of leads into my next one, your blog. So this is going to be a massive piece for growing on Google. All the different search engines are searching for data. And so by constantly having new authoritative posts on your blog, on your website, This helps Google and the different search engines, as well as the large language models like ChatGPT, to start sourcing your website so they can start sending traffic to you. If they think that you're an authority and you know what you're talking about, they can start sending you leads. And so you can very easily have a virtual assistant make a massive difference in the growth of your agency by handling your blogs. So, next would be reviews. I'm just putting Google reviews here, as well as check ins. So, potentially having somebody that just checks in with your clients. So, this doesn't need to be your annual review with them over their coverages. That should be done by a producer. But I'm talking about a 3 month, 4 month check in just randomly. Hey, John Smith, you've been a customer at our agency for 3 or 4 months. I just wanted to reach out and say how much I appreciate you. Thank you for doing business with our agency. And then if they respond something positively, potentially push for a Google review. Or you can create a whole campaign around getting these reviews. Again, your reviews on your Google My Business profile are a massive piece of how you rank inside the search engine, and so that's a big resource. But the client check ins and giving another personal touch, these can be done via email, they can be done via text message. They don't have to be a virtual assistant picking up the phone to call, although they can. But all of these little pieces, again, make your agency more valuable. It adds more value to your clients, and it makes sure that people really enjoy doing business with you. So that's how I line up the tasks to delegate to a virtual assistant, primary and secondary. And I always have a few secondary tasks so that if I don't have a core task for somebody to work on right now, they can still be productive and still move the agency forward without me constantly needing to tell them what they have to work on next. So, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found some value. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.